related.
Selling it.
Hasn't proven her yet.
We saved you.
I'm Savannah. I have Ledger. She will be 2 next week. And Jax, he is almost 4 months.
And you're married?
Yes, I'm married.
That matters. I mean, that's a big part of mother, whether you have a husband or not.
I'm Caroline. I'm married. My husband's name is Jake. He's a pharmacist. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. They're both boys. And
Let's say how long you've been married as well.
We just celebrated 5 years.
Okay.
4, I think. What do you think? I always ask him. I don't care about that kind of stuff that much. I'm not very romantic. But I think it's 4.
You think it's 4?
Yeah.
Okay. She doesn't remember the year. Okay, we'll move on. I'm Jenna. Been married to Daniel for 15 years, and we have a 10, an 8, a 5, and a 3-year-old. 2 girls, 2 boys.
I'm Savannah. I'm married to Drew, and let's see here, we will celebrate 12 years on the 30th. We have a blended family, so it proves to be very interesting. I have a 16-year-old daughter, a 14-year-old son. My 16-year-old lives here, my 14-year-old in Georgia. I have a 16, almost 17-year-old stepdaughter. And then Drew and I together have, let's see, one that's about to be 11, girl. One that, no. Hold on. Yeah, 11. 10 next month, a girl. One that turns 6 this summer, a girl. And then our baby is David, who will be 2 on Christmas. Adam. Thank you for the term. Adam.
And how long have you been married?
It'll be 12 years on the 30th.
Okay.
And that's 7 kids.
Yep, total of 7 kids plus an angel baby.
Okay, and then another dynamic. 3 homeschooling families, and then not old enough yet. Okay.
Well, we actually were doing both because Lexi's
Oh,
at the
that's
high
right,
school, although she is considering going to homeschooling. And then we homeschool 3, and then we have 1 that is at our church preschool.
Okay. Good deal. Question number 1. What is your top tip for thriving in motherhood?
Are we going in a certain order?
How do you want us to do?
We'll just say whoever wants to speak on this. Go first.
Well, I want to echo Miss Kathy, which just confirming or affirming. There we go. There's my word. Just the getting in the Word every day, because I feel like there is a huge difference between the days that I don't, or the days that I'm rushed, or the days it's half-hearted, or whatever, versus like actually connecting to the Lord. And also, it took me a long time to realize that like I would get in this mindset of if it didn't go perfectly, if I got interrupted, or I slept through my alarm, or that kid woke me up, or whatever, that it didn't count. And like that's not true. So just getting to the fact that like sometimes that's turning on worship or listening to my Bible app while I'm getting dressed, and then other days it's like deep study, and so it counts. Doing the Bible study with your kiddo counts, so that's
It's
my
almost like you're
biggest.
down on yourself, so your attitude is weighted.
Yeah, and it affects your entire day, so that's my biggest one.
Yeah, I think mine would be just trust yourself as a mom. Like everybody's different, and if just because one thing works for this mom this way, am I not being loud enough?
No, you're good.
What?
Yeah. She needs these tips, Caroline.
Sorry.
This motherhood.
Yeah, the air is a little loud. But anyway, just because one thing works for one mom one way and one thing works for you a different way doesn't mean that you're a bad mom or she's a bad mom. It means that something different works for both of you, and you're both good moms in different ways. That's my biggest tip. Don't stress about it. Don't compare.
That's good.
It's okay to need a break. It's okay to, say, hey, honey, watch the kids. I'm going to go grab a coffee. I'm going to go grocery shop in peace without telling the kids, stop. No, we're not getting that. We don't need that. Now, what's the next 5 things on the list? I just forgot.
Now let me recheck my basket because there are things in there now.
Yes, it is okay if you need that time. if you need that time, that does not make you an imperfect mother. It does not make you less of a mother. It can actually strengthen you to come back to your kids even more prepared. If you need to go take a bubble bath, if you need to just go take a nap, it's okay. And it's okay to call on other people to help you with your kids. You know, like she was saying, you know, what's gonna work for you might not work for other people. If you really wanna be the homeschool mom who comes in and sits down to cookie cutter perfect in your mind, because there is no cookie cutter perfect, but I'm gonna kind of pick on Jenna.
Oh, thanks.
She's not picking, she's about to say you're great.
But like, you know, Jenna with the crafts and the themes, it's like, I really want to do that. But you are not in that season of life for it. It's
Or you
okay.
may hate those things.
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean,
if
Kelly-
you don't like crafts, you're still a good mom.
Yeah.
How many moms do like crafts?
Yeah, you need all kinds. Like Kelly and I were just talking in the parking lot. She was like, I love cooking. And I was like, we cook to survive. You know, I enjoy it sometimes, but I don't look forward to it. And so there's all different types. Yeah.
Like, I love cooking. I hate cleaning.
It's hard to look forward to it when it's a chore.
Yeah.
I would say that
That's
Jenna
my
and
drink. I
Libby
love
both
cleaning.
thrive in motherhood from my perspective, because I know them very well, but they're nothing alike. They don't do.
We can
Whole
still learn.
lot.
We can still learn from each other. I ask her questions all the time, you know. So yeah.
And it's okay for your kids to have chores, and it's okay for your kids to do a good portion of the housework. Like, if you have several kids and they are, you know, 8 and above, it's okay if they do a little bit more housework than you sometimes. If you are trying to juggle all the other kids, there's a blogger mom that I love, and because she gives great advice, but also I love her Bible studies. And she's like, running this company, a new company I launched, there's many times my kids do 85% of the housework. I cook a meal at night, they help me clean, they're on their own for lunch. And it's okay. If your kids can do it, it's not child abuse. Chores are not child abuse. That is one of my mottos.
And you can start chores at 2. Ledger,
Yes.
the
My
dishwasher,
kids
put
just-
dishes away.
Is that your top tip? Start chores early?
Yes.
Her 2 little
She
babies. Yeah.
loves to help right now, and I'm gonna make her continue, because she makes the mess, she can clean it up too. She's just as capable.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. When they're interested is when they're very young. So if you get them started when they're very young, it's a part of their life, it's a part of their day. Because I can tell you I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they don't like to help nearly as much as the 2-year-old. But I didn't train them that way. Did not prioritize that when they were young. And so it's like pulling teeth now. You know, so it's good. Do y'all feel like y'all answered that question thoroughly? What has been your hardest season of motherhood, and how did you thrive during that time?
My hardest season is right now. I'm still not thriving, I don't feel like. But we're potty training, and I got the 4-month-old, so yeah, it's
That was when it was
That's
hardest.
the
for me.
hardest. Yeah. When they're too little to help.
Yeah,
You
when you have a
know.
toddler and a baby,
Yeah.
like, and I can't even imagine, I only have 2. So we have had multiple.
And then by the time the third one comes along, that older one's like 5-ish,
Maybe.
4, and they're helpful.
she's
So are you
helpful.
saying I need to have
You need to have another one.
Yeah, I mean, we've got David who's almost 3, and then we've got one almost 11 and almost 10. So I just had shoulder surgery, so I can't lift and all that, and we're potty training. So it's like, your brother needs to go to the bathroom, please take him to the bathroom. Your brother didn't make it to the bathroom in time to poop his pants. Which, when he was little bitty, they loved it. It's like, can we go change his diaper? Yes, please do, so I can finish cooking. That would be great.
Now it's a chore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, whose turn is it? Okay, then y'all just play rock, paper, scissors. Best 2 out of 3, you know, you don't have to do it. That is a great thing with chores. I've had a lot of ups and downs and dark moments, and that's one thing is you never know when a dark moment is gonna come. It can come from out of nowhere, and it's, you have hills and valleys, and sometimes thriving in the moment in my first marriage, he kicked us out when my oldest two were 2 and 6 weeks. He literally came home and said, I want a break, I've talked to your mom, you're gonna go stay with your mom. And thriving at that time was just getting out of bed, getting dressed, taking care of them, getting to work, and getting home, because I was still trying to nurse him. And I was just devastated because it was also an abusive marriage that I tried to keep hidden. So it, and I was 20 years old, so I was a mess. And then when Drew and I got married, we lost our first baby at 8 weeks pregnancy, and it devastated us because this was a baby we wanted. We were ready. The second we found out, we had names picked out. We had we started introducing the kids to the idea, and we had the lullaby picked out, and I'd already started singing it, and then all of a sudden there's no heartbeat. So that moment, I remember I could say in that season, my most thriving moment, because the house was a mess. I was just trying to keep up with the kids. We were reading Heaven is for Real at Sunday school. We got to the end, and one day we came home, and I got a big hot bowl, like a metal bowl of bleach water, and I got on my knees in our little bitty bathroom that is floor would be smaller than one of these round tables, and I scrubbed it for about an hour with a toothbrush and bleach water, and I prayed and I cried and I just let it all out. And in that moment, I felt like I was finally thriving, because I was admitting what I felt and I was communicating with God. And that, sometimes that's the best example of thriving. Are you being honest? And are you being open and honest with God? Because He created us. He can take our anger, our sadness, our fears. He can take all of it.
You're probably not supposed to cry. I love that, how you said thriving in that season looks like this. Love that.
I mean, I was just gonna say that being able to see, like, 'cause a lot of the stuff that was really hard in the past, like if I would have just known what was around the corner, just keeping focus on that. This is just a season. I know everybody says that, but it's so hard to actually keep that in mind. Like, there's something way better. Just in a few months, your life is gonna look totally different. In just a year, I know a year sounds like a long time, but my life is so different from 2 years ago and from that point. So I mean, I know it probably is for all of y'all. So that's how I thrive through our times. I'm like, okay, this is just this month. Even tomorrow is easier than today.
A good phrase to remember is, this too shall pass.
It's true. It was annoying when people told me that, but it's true.
The phrase, it'll pass like a kidney stone, but it'll pass.
Right. You don't like
Say
saying
that to
stuff.
yourself, it does become,
True. They
Yeah.
hurt a
I don't
lot.
know if you've heard that one. That's my favorite. My hardest season was from April of 2019 to sometime
yes.
in 2021. So a couple things. So if you don't know our story, I'm going to be real brief, but we were hit by the tornado. So April 25th of 2019. And then we were kind of nomadic for about 7 months, I guess is a good word. We lived in several different places. My parents' house and then camp, which camp is home. So those 2 months were really good. And then we lived in a rent house 30 minutes out of town for 4 months. But that time was just so growing, I guess, and just like you were saying, just being able to thrive. Like, we're gonna, wherever we're at, it's gonna be home. And so that was very purposeful during that time. We created way more traditions. I thought we had a lot of traditions. We created a lot of traditions during that time, and we still do them. And those traditions have kind of helped our family through other, just through different seasons of life. Like looking back, like, oh, we're gonna do that thing again. And it just reminds the kids. We're very big on traditions in our house. So then we moved into a house at the end of those 7 months. And we had like the idyllic year. And I mean, it was almost exactly a year. November 15th was when we moved into the house. And then November 21st, the following year, we had, I told my husband, we had the perfect week, and then we had a Sabbath, or the perfect year, and then we had a Sabbath week, and then my husband had a stroke at the age of 44. And it was like, where did that come from? So we're still dealing with that, but we're over the, like, we did car schooling for 3 or 4 months, and y'all, that was a season all in itself. But I told a friend the other day that, like, I look back sometimes and I miss that car season. I mean, we're driving him to therapy, and then we would have this awkward, like, hour and a half in the car. What do we do? I mean, so we watch videos.
One car family, regardless.
We had
of
one
whether
car. We
he
had,
couldn't drive
yeah, he couldn't drive
anyway,
anyways.
but-
But yeah, we've been a one car family for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. I can't even remember. But it didn't have anything to do with all of these things. That was just a choice we made. So yeah, we're taking him to and from. He could not drive, and so we went to parks, but it was February. It was December, January, February. It was cold and nasty, and so we got really creative, and we did a lot of school in the car. But I feel like it was a thriving season, looking back on it. And so I know Libby gave us a Walmart gift card at one point, and then Co-op had some leftover snacks, and so Shannon gave those to us, and we bought car snacks. And I told her, I was like, you thought you were buying us groceries, but you bought us snacks. It's groceries, right? Because we spent so much time in the car, and to be able to say, Miss Shannon gave us Cheez-Its and it was just so exciting. So little gifts like that would just kind of boost us for the next week or two, and so, but yeah, so we're coming out of that, I hope, God forbid. But yeah, it was one big season of, stuff. I don't know if that was a good answer at all, but.
Great answer. Anybody else want to add to their hardest season and how you thrive?
I'm thriving right now.
You are in some way.
You're great. Tremendously. I'm keeping my house clean, fairly clean. I'm having to break a lot of habits from growing up, but I went from piles of junk everywhere to if somebody just shows up at my house, I'm not embarrassed anymore.
That's huge.
Yeah.
What are some daily routines that you have in place to keep your life on track, especially when every day seems to be so different? What are some things you do every day, or almost every day, to keep your life on track?
What was the question?
What are some things that you do every day to keep your life on track?
Well, we try to do morning routines because we never know what our evening's gonna be like. My husband works in the evening, so right now where he is, they just got a new manager. So it's like, okay, well, we're gonna deep clean everything. We're gonna fix all the broken stuff that should have been fixed a long time ago. We're gonna get to the correct standards, and everybody's gonna be trained right. And we're going to kind of clean house just because we need some reliable workers who are going to come and do what they're supposed to. So one night he's like, okay, I'm not getting off at 8, it'll be 9. He got home at 11. So we just know nights, we just kind of got to roll with it. So mornings, my girls know no matter what day it is. And yes, they do still get distracted very easily, very often. But they're supposed to get up, make their beds, get dressed. I don't care if we're staying home, get dressed, at least out of your PJs. And then you can have, you do a quick 5-10 minute chore. Usually it's like, y'all didn't put up your clean clothes, go put up your clean clothes. Y'all got dirty clothes on your floor, you got toys on your floor. Typically it's stuff like that. And then you can have breakfast. And if you get on electronics, you've told me that you've done all that. So if you get on electronics, you don't want breakfast, I guess. I've had to start that phrase. My oldest, the oldest one that's homeschooled does not like that because she likes to roll out of bed and get on her computer. So it has become a mantra. Yeah. What? You don't want breakfast? And then she gets mad at me. And that's okay. But we try to keep that routine just to keep the sanity because usually, since my husband works nights, I get up, try to get the teenager out to school, get the little one, get him to school, and I go try to do some work in the office before I come home and let him go to work. do a few things at home, take the girls to after school. So we're kind of back and forth. So we just rely on a morning routine. It's like, it doesn't matter what day it is. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday, Saturday. It doesn't matter if you're getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning instead of the normal, like, 7 o'clock. That's what you're doing.
We're the opposite. We're night routine people. I'm not a morning person, so we do everything at night. But after supper, my toddler knows we get up and we do dishes, put supper away, clean the kitchen, do a load of laundry, and then she'll usually go have a bath, and then we do the rest of our cleaning and stuff. And that's what I do most of my cleaning, apart from nap. I was very anti-routine with her, so I did not have any kind of routine whatsoever with her. But having the two, it's been much easier. Like, I worked at a daycare, and the kids always went down perfectly at nap there. She's not going down for nap. What's the deal? My mother-in-law's like, well, you know, she doesn't know when she's going to nap.
Yeah.
So since we've implemented more of a routine, she goes down much better. Even bedtime, we made the switch to toddler bed also, and like.
She wanted to be a big girl?
Yeah, I think that was a lot of it. But like, she now consistently knows, like, okay, at 8 o'clock, right after you finish your milk, we're gonna brush our teeth, change our diaper, get ready for bed, put our pajamas on, read a book, say our prayers, and go to bed. And so, as long as we do that, she's okay. But she will let me know, like one night I was trying to rush it and we didn't pray, and she was like, hey. I said, okay, we'll pray.
Yes.
Love it.
So, and we didn't do our prayer right either, and I got in trouble for that.
She likes her routine.
So it's helped her a lot too, and it's helped me, and my husband even, because like, you know, he was used to, as soon as we get done eating, we just sit down and the kitchen gets cleaned whenever, but now he knows to like also get up and help me clean and get things put away. It's helped with keeping the house clean too.
We did the after dinner thing and just kind of, if everybody works together, then we can get this thing done. I'm really organized and I like making lists and all that, but I hate chore charts. I don't know if y'all love them or hate them. I just can't keep up with them. Like, we've done them for different seasons, and it's like once they're established, then I take them down, because I don't want to keep up with stickers and checks, and we might use them for a week or two just if we're changing routines or whatever. But I annoy my kids with little jingles, I guess. They don't rhyme or anything, but if you say them enough, they become a thing, like you were saying about the breakfast. And even my 5-year-old, we get up, dishes, breakfast, all the time writing, and she's like, please don't say it. And I'm like, well, then go do it, you know. And then teeth, hair, face, deodorant, bathroom job. So they know kind of like just those little rhythms. They get real annoyed, but it works. And it's better than a chore chart for me. I have my own list that I can refer to, but I don't have anything where I have to be accountable to them. Where's my sticker? Where's my check mark? You know, so with my bigger kids, I write them a list every day.
They also don't
their school
know,
and
that
stuff.
way, they also don't know if like, well, she didn't make me do that this time, so I'm gonna try to get out of it next time. Where it's like, if you just say, go do this, this, and this, in your head, you know, that's what I need you to do today, but
Yeah.
tomorrow it may be this.
Sometimes it's
You know.
different, yeah.
Yeah, so they're not like, no, that didn't match, you know?
Yeah, they will. They'll get really upset if you don't follow the list sometimes. And so, yeah, it gives you a little more flexibility. Because there's days like when we're coming here or we're going to co-op or whatever, we just do dishes, breakfast, all the time. And they're like, no writing today? I'm like, no, it's, you know, we got to get out of the house. Like, you know, and so it allows me to just kind of verbally tell them. And they can, in their brain, they still know the order. So that helps us.
So like Caroline said, just because it works for you doesn't mean it
Absolutely.
works for somebody else.
Y'all may love a chore chart, and if you can keep up with it, they're great. I can do it for about 2 weeks, and then I'm ready to throw it away.
Well, and also a chore chart doesn't have to be every single thing they have to do.
No.
Because the chore charts that we do, it's
47 things.
it's just like, you know, the morning, get make your bed, get dressed. We even have be kind and be considerate on there.
Mm-hmm.
And we even did a word study. Okay, what's kind? What's considerate? And they're like, those are the same things. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's like a double reminder. But also, y'all have to be kind to each other. No fighting. And be considerate. Don't just run over them because they're in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them to move, you know. So we tried to make a distinction to help them remember you got to think about other people, but also you have to be nice to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, it's, I can't remember what's on their list, but then I try to, you know, rotate, whose job is it to sweep underneath the table? Whose job is it to help put away dinner? Whose job is it to make sure the dishes are done? You know, everybody has a different day of the week.
Yeah.
And Wednesday night, that's out the window because we might be home at 7:30, we might be home at 8:30. It depends on how long it takes us to shut down the kids' wing after church. And so yeah, just a chore chart does not have to have every single thing. They can know, Mom's gonna give me a chore. I may not know what it is until she tells me to do it, but you can put the general, just make their bed. Pick up the clean, or put away the clean clothes, pick up the dirty clothes, and even just being kind, doing your schoolwork. Those can go on a chore chart, and if that's what works for you to help it visualize for your kids, that's great. And you can use chore charts for little ones too. David has one above his bed, if he's still in our room, and it's a picture of a bed, and I wrote for the big girls, make bed. Toys away, pick up your clothes, put your books away.
Yeah.
You know, you can start them young with pictures for chore charts, just to kind of a visual, just to help them remember what are the basic things I'm supposed to do. How do I clean a bathroom?
Oh, you gotta teach them
Oh yes, well,
step by step.
but see that if they want to slip, because we have some that want, like you were saying, skip something. So we have like little picture charts that we started looking at. It's like, okay, which one covers our bathroom? Print out a general one. We only have 2 bathrooms. We don't have an upstairs bathroom, downstairs bathroom. We're one floor. This one says upstairs, downstairs. So sometimes you have to kind of pick and choose or make your own.
Carolyn, did you speak on that?
I mean, I'm not a very organized person in general, so I just don't keep things.
But you're big on obedience. So you, right?
What do you mean?
Like,
for my
if you
children?
tell your children to do this,
Oh,
you
yeah.
expect them to do it, and then they do it. So that would kind of parallel with Janice,
Well,
like just having, you know,
Yeah, I guess the most scheduled thing I do is breakfast in the morning. I make sure that they have healthy choices so that I don't have to fix them breakfast because I hate doing that. So I was like, why? What do I do?
Dang.
Because I hate doing this. How do I make it better?
Yep.
So I just showed them how to do breakfast, and now I don't have to do that anymore. And then
That's what we do too.
I also get really mad. I like to work out every day, and I get really mad when I don't get my workout in, and they come and bother me during my workout. They yell at me, and I noticed that was being an issue every single day. So I let them play video games while I work out every single day, and that's what we do.
they look forward to it, you look forward to it. they don't
Yes,
bother
and it's
you.
only an hour. I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't
That's
see why it's a
screen
big
time.
deal.
I like that.
Carving out time for yourself.
Yeah, and the rest of the time we turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've done our top 3, and we're at 10:50. You want to break for our discussion table?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, we'll keep it going at the tables. We'll continue chatting.